The Archies by Zoya Akhtar and Riverdale by CW. Two of the most necessary, mature, and cinema defining adaptations of the comics you might have ever experienced. What's so profound about them is in the way they include horror, romance, drama, and historical fiction seamlessly into one story. Both these products feature actors in their 20s attempting to act the physical age of 17 and the mental age of 13.
Does this lamp cure asthma?
I don't think so, sir.
And why does it cost so much?
But today I will put these two through 5 entire rounds to decide which adaptation is actually the best single comic book adaptation the world has ever seen. Round 1, Better Story. Not only has Zoya Akhtar Indianized the Archies by immaculately shoving Riverdale into the 1960s map of our country, she's audacious enough to surgically remove everything Indian about it and cleanse this Riverdale of any real post-colonial problems faced at the time. As a result, the endangerment of a nostalgic green park is the greatest personal and political crisis these rich kids have ever faced. And yet, in the middle of this, Betty Cooper is more worried about Veronica kissing Archie because she kissed him earlier. Amateur writing. On the other hand, one cannot stop talking about the endlessly brilliant story of CW's Riverdale, which undergoes a deep futuristic treatment with glimpses into child sacrificing cults, palladium or P-bombs, Russian spies, serial killers, and so much more. Trust me, Betty has way more things to worry about than who kissed who. So much so that she endlessly cries in the final episode as her old virgin time travels to her last day in Riverdale as an omnipresent Jughead tells her how everybody dies in the end. Perfection. Sorry Zoya, but this point goes to Riverdale. Round 2, the greatest couple ever. In case these two adaptations didn't make it clear, Archie's comics was originally about best friends being romantically interested in each other. Riverdale makes this as obvious as possible, season after season. Extremely powerful couples, ranging from Jughead and Veronica, Jughead and Betty, Archie and Betty, Archie and Cheryl, Betty and Veronica. You know what? Just refer to the list of characters and ship them all together. And while Riverdale desperately tries all permutation combinations to make sure it features the best couple ever, the real puppy love in the Archies happens between the cinematographer and the editor. Two ride-or-die lovey-doveys united in avoiding the sight of Suhana Khan's facial acting, while the cinematographer avoids close-ups on Suhana Khan in Veronica's greatest moments. The editor carries a torch for the former by cutting away from Suhana immediately after or while she speaks. And for these reasons, Archies gets a point. Round 3, Dialogue. This is going to be the tough one. Riverdale's set of writers have been deemed experts at unintentional meme making.
I dropped out in the 4th grade to run drugs to support my nana.
That means you haven't known the triumphs and defeats, the epic highs and lows of high school football. But you will.
But only after the 7th season did I finally comprehend their genius. In order to write this show, they seem to have been inspired by their own character, Jughead.
In case you haven't noticed, I'm weird. I'm a weirdo. I don't fit in, and I don't want to fit in. Have you ever seen me without this stupid hat on? That's weird.
And hence transformed into dumb, edgy teens themselves, talking incoherent bullshit in an act of method writing. This effect is so pronounced that when Archie thinks about farming, he believes he's giving back to the earth.
Land with my hands, giving back to the earth.
In similar vein, sometimes Riverdale reminds me of YouTube legend Dharman's videos, while the Archies also takes a shot at dumb teen jokes themselves. Due to the misfortune of Zoya Akhtar deciding the film to be a musical, the absurdly pointless songs of the film end up overshadowing the horrible jokes. In the end, Riverdale takes the cake yet again by repeating lines over and over again to ensure we get the emotion. This point goes to Riverdale. Round 4, Progressivism. It is never a surprise that a comic book so invested in a straight white male exploring more than two girl partners at the same time is fitting for the most progressive narratives to be born within its adaptations. Riverdale goes all in with the progressivism as Cheryl begs of us to notice that she's in a lesbian relationship. Kevin stays stoically homosexual for the entire 7 seasons despite a few hiccups. And while the Archie's characters are perpetually struggling with each other due to Archie's varied interests, as is fitting for the story, Season 7 Riverdale gives us closure by introducing a quad relationship between Archie, Betty, Veronica and Jughead, just so that they won't have any regrets about not being progressive enough. And yet, I find myself surprised to give this point to the Archies because that everything is politics song suddenly opened my eyes. At that very moment I realized how my 15 minutes of yoga in the morning may have been subconsciously inspired by our Prime Minister, and how a lollipop I once gave to a child on a street might have been an indication to him that I'm a privileged liberal socialist type. The point must go to the Archies in honor of my political awakening. Round 5, Better Archie. Let me just say right off the bat, Riverdale has consistently focused on Archie's abs, which according to renowned film critic Alex Myers is the single most vital ingredient to the show, irrespective of him becoming a superhero, prison convict, boxer, miner, volunteer firefighter, football player, soldier, you name it, he's probably done it with his abs intact. The Archie in the Archies, though, is unfortunately a skinny douchebag. His sense of humor is inversely proportional to his confidence, and he, just like his counterparts, are hopelessly gullible when it comes to the idea that Dylan is smart. Oh, and when it comes to the deeper point about aesthetics, I will humbly pass on the mic to a female expert who can do facial analysis of the two Archies.
Hi, I'm Khushi and I'm here to do a facial analysis between Archie from the Archies and Archie from Riverdale. Archie from the Archies was initially portrayed as this guy who has a charming smile and is a people's person. But man, I was really disappointed because when I see Archie from Riverdale, that guy is tall, handsome, has an amazing jawline, beautiful voice, strong voice, I would say, and had those manly features that I would actually like to see in Archie. Whereas Archie from the Archies, he lacked a lot of things. It was really hard for them to actually achieve the kind of hair Archie has. It felt like he's speaking from his tooth, like he's using his teeth to speak. Then it also felt like his face was really powdered, like full of powder. So yeah, that is my review. Thank you.
So after such a thorough assessment, I have to give this point as well to Riverdale's Archie, who manages to achieve so much in Riverdale, he should be a role model to the Indian Archie. In conclusion, I regret to inform Zoya Akhtar that Riverdale is the undisputed better Archie adaptation, and neither could Farhan Akhtar's voice or Shah Rukh Khan's daughter save it from its debilitating defeat. It's one of the few times I would side with Westerners over people born on my own soil.